Yesterday, the Senate voted cloture on the unemployment compensation insurance bill. But unfortunately, we are still delaying and deferring the final vote on this measure. This is essential to millions of Americans who need not only the money that they receive, and frankly, it's not a huge amount. In Rhode Island, the average weekly compensation is $360 a week. But they need to have the certainty that this program is going to be there at least for the next several months. And I think we've made a lot of points rhetorically. Now is the time to take the final vote, to move forward, and to deal with a more fundamental issue, really, and that is how do we create the jobs? Now that we're providing some assistance to those who are unemployed, how do we go ahead and further create jobs in this economy so that our unemployment rolls shrink dramatically? That task is challenging, but we've taken 2 months now to get to this juncture. In the past, unemployment compensation was a bipartisan initiative. It was done routinely. It was always extended as long as the unemployment rate was at least 7.4%. Today, the unemployment rate nationally is about 9.5%. In my state of Rhode Island, it's over 12%, and we're not alone. There are states that are very, very much mired in a huge economic crisis. The other factor of this unemployment situation is that it's been a long-term unemployment for so many people. So the money they put aside, the rainy day money, the money they put in the coffee can for that special occasion, for that special treat, it's long been exhausted. This money is absolutely essential for people. And there are many on the other side who will stand up and say, well, you know, we're all for unemployment compensation. We just want to pay for it. Well, historically, we have not paid for it. It's truly an emergency expenditure. And the other factor that's critical to note is that unemployment compensation does not add to the structural deficit. That is in sharp contrast to the tax cuts, which my colleagues on this side are urging be extended without paying for them. It's in sharp contrast to the largest expansion of an entitlement program since the 1960s, the Medicare Part D program, which was not paid for. Those programs add to the structural deficit because they are not replenished periodically in the good times, because people qualify for them as soon as they hit an age of 65 or as soon as they qualify simply by filing their income tax. Those are structural deficit issues. And yet, the other side sort of glibly says, well, that's not important. I can't figure it out. If the deficit is so overwhelming, if the deficit is so all-consuming, then why are my colleagues on the Republican side first suggesting that we extend all the tax cuts of the Bush years without any offsets? And why did they in the past vote for a Part D extension, creation really? Why did they vote for 2 wars unpaid for? There is something inconsistent in their comments. As I pointed out, that the employment compensation is not a problem of the structural deficit, because as the economy recovers, people will continue to pay into the unemployment compensation trust funds through their payroll taxes. And in the good times, those funds increase so that in the unfortunate times, we can provide assistance. What we're doing now with this legislation is recognizing this is a particularly challenging moment for families and for states, and they need assistance. Part of the legislation we have here is fully compensating the states for benefits which in other times are shared 50% by the state, 50% by the federal government. But in these extraordinary times, we have to pass this legislation. And we also recognize, too, in terms of the offsets to this legislation, that this is part of our overall attempt to stimulate the economy. For every dollar of unemployment benefits, there's at least $1.60 or $1.90 in economic activity. And it makes sense. When you get that $360 around, you take whatever other resource you have, and you go to the store. You don't go off jetting to Europe on a vacation. You go to the store. You buy the food. You buy the clothes. You buy those things that are essential for your family. So, Mr. President, I am just continually baffled by the reluctance, the resistance, the obstruction of the other side in terms of doing what has to be done promptly. And it will be done in a way in which it will assist the recovery that we're beginning to sense throughout the country.